Alrighty, we are ready to record and all going good now. So it's, it's a little bit stressful there. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining in. We're going to do a little interview tonight on team training, which is super exciting. A few of the girls are going to speak, but mainly we want to get Luce up to just have a conversation. Really want to interview Luce. Obviously, we all know that she's just hit NMD, which is such an amazing achievement to be able to do that in the time frame she has. So I really want to, and you know, a lot of you guys have either just started or might even have been in the business for a little while, and it's important to really know what it takes. What does the road to NMD really look like? And I really want to get a bit of insight with that tonight, so that you can start to understand what it is that can help you, some strategies, some skills, some tips on how that you can reach that position as well as your team. So I want to get Luce to really share from the beginning. I just really want to get Luce to share why she said yes to this in the first place. What did life look like for her? And how long ago it was as well. So give us a bit of a time frame as well, Luce. So over to you.
Okay, so I started on the products first. So I was a product of the product. I started the products 4 years ago on Valentine's Day, so in the February. It was then in the September of that year that I actually joined the business. And I joined, I was not looking for a business. I was not looking for anything really, but the girl that introduced this to me was the lady that obviously shared the product with me, and she was like, Lucy, you're sharing this with so many people, like you're telling everybody how amazing you're feeling and you're sending them all my way. Why don't you earn money doing this? And I honestly was like, I haven't got time. I don't want to be one of those people. I don't know enough people. I've just moved to this country. You know, it's just not going to work. I'm not into health. People are going to think I'm a bit of a joke. I had all those bullshit excuses as to why I couldn't do the business. But can I be really honest with you guys? I just couldn't say no to her. She bugged me so much. I couldn't say no. So I just went, you know what? If she's told me I can make $200 a month by just sharing this product with 2 people, that covers my product. And at the time when I joined, I was paying for a visa, which was $15,000. So for those in the UK, it's £7,500. I was paying for a wedding, which was $30,000, which was £15,000. I was also in about £10,000 worth of debt. And I was flying back to the UK all the time. So, you know what, an extra $200, not sure if it went a huge way, but if I could just have my product paid for, at least it was a bill that I didn't have to think about. And I was so passionate about the product that I was like, cool, if I only have to share it with 2 people a month, I can get my product paid for, happy days. And then hubby loved it. So I was like, right, I've got to share it with 4 people. And honestly, I brought it home and hubby went, oh my God, what are you doing now? And I said, oh, you know, we just love this product so much. Let's just give it a go. And he's like, I hope you haven't spent lots of money on it. And I was like, no. It was just $165, but I make that back in 10 days. And I told him all about it and he was like, whatever. And then our first paycheck came in. And I remember he looked at the online banking and he was like, someone's put $700 in our bank. Why has someone put $700 in our bank? And I was like, oh, that's my Juice Plus money. Oh, $700, that's so cool. And he was like, but you haven't done anything. And I was like, yeah, while we're watching Netflix and like, you know, whatever was on TV, EastEnders, I was just messaging people back home and I was talking to people when we were at the soccer club, and I put up a few posts about my story and I got like 30 comments, and yeah, and I hit a couple of bonuses, and you know, Stacey, Zappa's wife, she was like, I want to do this with you. So I got like $100 bonus from her joining me. And he was like, what the hell? So that was pretty much how I got started, to be quite honest. I kind of just fell into it and straight away it just kind of worked.
I love it. And I know from the beginning with your health story, you were able to share it quite organically and naturally because of it helping you, obviously. So that sounds like a really good start. But I know that there's obviously been a bit of a roller coaster ride with it. And like any journey, you're going to have its ups and its downs. So I would love you to share, if over the last couple of years, like what has been some moments that you're like, okay, this was a defining moment in my business, or this was something that was memorable that changed the course for you to go, you know what, I'm not giving up, I'm going to keep going with this.
Okay, so there's 3 defining moments for me. So one was super, super early on in the business. I think I was going for SC, and I had we used Voxer back then. It didn't last for very long because then Facebook Messenger introduced voice messages. But Caitlin sent me this Voxer, and I literally listened to it as I'd stumbled into the office at 7:30 in the morning. And she was like, babe, you're growing such a big team and customer base in the UK and here in Australia. Do you know that this could be your pathway to live in both countries? And that was a light bulb, because that was my dream and I hadn't shared it with anybody. Mine and Scott's dream was to chase the sun. We would love to chase the sun, although right now I'd love some rain and some snow. We'd love to chase the sun, 12 months of the year. We would love to not see winter. And when she shared that with me, I was like, oh my God, this could be my ticket out of the 9-to-5 corporate grind. My husband's always worked for himself. He's always had that freedom if he's wanted it. I never have. And because I never thought I had a skill where I could work for myself, I was like, who's going to pay me to do anything for them? Being a freelance marketer and events manager doesn't pay well. And that's what my skills were. So that was the first one when I was like, okay, I might give this a real go. And I did. I gave it a real go while I was still working full time. The second pivotal moment for me was, it was the month before we went over to Barcelona. So it was in the October, and my corporate job were really hassling me. They were like, we need you to come back early. We're not going to hire anyone to take your place. We're losing money. We're losing clients. We need you to come back. Me. And I was like, no, I'm not ready to come back yet. I'm entitled to a year's maternity leave, unpaid. So I'm going to take that all. And my dad was supposed to come out here in the February. So I wanted to spend time with him. And then my plan was to go back to work at the end of Feb. And they were like, no, Lucy, sorry, that doesn't really work with us. And I was like, okay, well, the law is the law. And I was like, well, are you going to pay me my pay rise? Are you going to pay me what you're paying the men in the office because I'm more qualified and I've been in the job longer, seeing as since I've left, everyone quit and you've hired more new people again? Oh, Lucy, no, I don't think we can do that. And I went, you know what? Stuff your job. Get fucked. I'm not coming back. It literally is what I said to my boss. And I'm not coming back. I'm done. And that split second, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? They could not have been happier to get rid of me. I could not think why. But they were like, yeah, your papers are in your email. We'll sign you over. Done and dusted. Sent me my package, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I've just quit my job and I'm not even making half of what I was making in the corporate world. What am I going to do? The 10th of November hit. And so I think I quit around about the 20th, 25th. And I didn't do anything spectacular between then. But on the 10th of November, when that pay dropped just before we went to the UK, it was more than my corporate wage. So my pay had doubled and a bit. And it was as if the universe had gone, well done, you've let go, you've believed in yourself. This is your time to shine. You can do this, and this business can do what it says it can do. And it was at that point I was like, oh my God, I'm on the right track. So that was huge. That was really big because finally it was bringing in a full-time income. And then the third moment was when I was struggling with my why. Before I had Parker, my why was just kind of like get out of corporate, be free, travel, but that wasn't deep enough. It wasn't making me hustle till midnight. It wasn't making me step out of my comfort zone loads. It was just a bit of a fluffy why. And then I got caught up in the mum care over daycare kind of stuff, whereas really deep down, if Parker had to go into daycare, I don't think I'd shed a tear, because at least I'd get a break. Like, it actually didn't bother me, but the thing that really touched me, and I went to a life coach, because I said to her, I said, look, I do this business and I don't know what my why is, and I'm running for NMD, and I don't know if, you know, I've tried to quit, like I've thought about quitting, and I don't know what to do. And she really got deep, and we got so deep that it turned out that I actually feel very lonely as a child, because my parents both worked, and I was brought up by my nan, and I was brought up by a childminder, and I was brought up by my neighbours. I was not really brought up by my parents. And the thought of that being for Parker really upset me. The thought of other mums telling me how well she did in sports day, or at, you know, school, or in the panto, or in a dance show, whatever, you know, whatever she does, upset me, because that's what my parents had to hear. You know, I had to walk home from school by myself. It's all those kind of things where I looked at my friends who had stay-at-home mums and was like, your mum's so cool. And I want Parker to think I'm cool. But I want to be there, and I want to give Scott the opportunity to also be there. And I don't ever want him, because my dad was never around for me as a kid, I want him to be able to go, oh yeah, you know what, I'll have the week off work, money's not an issue, let's, you know, I'll come and watch everything. So that was then the final pivotal moment that really got deep enough to get the grit to do the 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, get up at 6 a.m, you know, the couple of weeks that we were running for NMD.
Absolutely love that, Luce. Absolutely love that, because I know when that changed for you, and I saw the determination that you had since then, and it just goes to show, and I'm actually going to share a little bit this on the next call, of making sure that that why is a stake in the ground that's going to get you to where you need to be, and that was absolutely what you did. Okay, so running through to NMD, obviously, you know, when you come into this business, like a lot of us, we come in not understanding some things that we got to do. Like, you know, you get thrown into this kind of business, and a lot of things that we have to do, we have to learn. Would there be like a few things that you could just rattle off that you really had to work on for this business?
Yes, I wrote these down so I remembered them all, because they were very important. So I talk about this now quite a lot. The theme of my running for NMD was patience. I am not a patient person. I need things like this really quickly all the time. Everything needs to be done. But everything was teaching me patience. Parker was up at night, constantly crying. Husband was working, you know, then he was working 2 jobs, you know, dealing with team across the other side of the world. You know, I'd have to wait for people to wake up to get back to me. You know, it was, honestly, I just had to be patient, and that was a skill I'm still learning, but it had to be something that I had to let go, because it's not about me. It was about the team. It was about everybody else. So I had to learn that it's actually got nothing to do with me. And I had to become a servant leader. So I had to learn how to serve my team best and not serve myself. So I had to make myself, and I told my whole team, I was like, I work for you. You tell me what you need and I will get it done. You know, send me 100 messages while I'm asleep. When I get up, I will get them all done for you. That is what I'll do. And that is literally what we did in the lead up. It was constantly, how can I get you to your promotion? What can I do for you? How can I help? How can I help? How can I help? And you really have to step into that space of not, oh my God, if this person gets here, I'm going to make this much money. It's like, wow, if I could help that person get to that promotion, that's going to mean so much to her. That's going to change her life. And that story drives me more than any monetary value. And there was not a monetary gain in NMD at all. The last 2, so this is another one of that, Val and Abby will totally agree with this, even Nat will, is I had to get vulnerable. I cried so much in January, you have no idea. I literally would just start crying for absolutely no reason on the phone to people, and they're like, are you okay? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know why I'm crying. But I had to get so vulnerable, and I had to be honest with people. I had to put my hand up and say, hey, Abby, I need help. Can you please help me with this? Or, hey, Kat, can you please help me with this? You know, I had to really reach out and ask for help. And I also had to go into the team and say, hey, team, look, this is what NMD means as a team. This is what it means for me. And this is what I can show you to do. And being British, we're not very vulnerable people. We are very closed. So I had to really learn to do that. Even Beck saw me bawling my eyes out on the last day of doing it. And I remember having my sunnies on and just put them on, and I just sat there like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing it again. And then the last one, and this is so, so important. Know your numbers. I had to learn how to read the reports like this. I ran reports the 2 weeks leading, so from the 15th of, well, no, it's probably a bit early in February, about the 10th to the 15th, every single day I pulled reports twice. I knew exactly what you were doing, exactly what you were putting on in the team, who had a decline, who had a cancellation, where they needed to go. I had a whiteboard with everybody's numbers on. I was adding them up as they go. I was saying into Beck's team, I was like, right, if anyone gets an order, let me know. And I was literally, it was like I worked in the stock markets or something. I was like writing them all down. But it was something I never really did before. And actually, when I pulled my reports, it scared me, because I was like, oh my God, that team member doesn't even have their own order. Oh my goodness, why didn't I know this? You know, so you've got to really look. You get emailed your own reports every Sunday. Check them. You need to know who's declined, who's cancelled, you know, what reshipments are coming out. I was always so blind to it. And that was silly, because that could have cost me my NMD if we did not know those numbers. So yeah, that's probably the last thing we had to learn.
Awesome, Luce. And, you know, I can vouch for all of that. And at the end of the day, you know, some of the things that Luce just mentioned there, you don't have to wait to get to NMD to actually learn some of these. And this is why we're sharing this now, because we want people to understand that all you got to do is step into those shoes. You know, anyone can be an NMD at any time, even as an SDVF, as an SC. You just got to believe it and show up as one. And it's amazing when you start walking the walk in those shoes, what you manifest and what's going to come to you. So obviously what Luce just touched on is this is a team effort. Like NMD is not one person. And we know that everyone has to gather in, and we all have to work together. So Luce, I might get you just to introduce the two girls, because Luce has got two girls on in the team here tonight, and I think it's really important to hear from them of what they were able to contribute, what they did for helping as part of this NMD team. So Luce, I'll get you to introduce the two girls.
Absolutely. Okay, so I've got the beautiful Beck and Kelly both on the call, who had very different journeys in the lead up to NMD. So Beck, I'm going to get you to chat first, so just unmute yourself. So Beck actually only joined the team in January. She joined in January and very quickly was growing a team. We've got the beautiful Liz on at the moment, who then brought her partner in, Ian, and these three were like, holy shit, these three were just on it. And I literally, halfway through the month of February, I said to Beck, Beck, do you know your team is carrying us to NMD? And she was like, what? And I was like, I can't believe it, you guys are on fire. And she was like, right, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to make this happen? So Beck, what did you do?
Oh God, so it was mainly consistency. It was just coming together and saying, let's do this. You know, you had helped us so much get to where we were. And I was like, let's get her over this line. So, you know, as a team, we sat down, we brainstormed, we, messaged people that we knew how amazing this product would be for them. So then we just, went out, brainstormed, hustled, and yeah, it just ended up working out.
It was, and it was hustle hard, and you were just literally like, right, Luce, and Liz and Ian were, you know, were absolute powerhouses
Amazing.
as well. And they didn't use social media. They were building the business to literally talk to people, which is what we're supposed to do. And honestly, Ian and Liz, you guys blew my mind. Like, they're like, hey, got another premium pack today. Hey, got another premium pack today. I was like,
On a roll.
And so we had a group chat, and we were just like, right, 13 premium packs to go. And they were like, right, got another one. And we just did a bit of a countdown, really, didn't we? Which was super, super exciting. And
it was awesome. It paid off. And look at you. You're doing amazing.
And your pay paid off. Over $1,000 on your second month, which was amazing.
Frank almost fell over. He was like, is this right? And I was like, yeah, it is.
That's me. Thank you so much. Okay, Kelly, we'll get you to share next. So Kelly has been in, 2 years? Yeah, 2 years.
I think just over 2 years.
Just over 2 years. And Kelly's over in the UK. Now, I met Kelly online, just exactly the same as I met Beck. And Kelly has a beautiful team in the UK, which is growing, oh my goodness, by the dozen. Kelly, really huge community team effort running for this, because actually the what we needed was Kelly's team to hit POB, and POB in the UK is about 20 more premium packs than you need for POB in Australia. So we needed about 85 premium pack on installments going through that team in a country where premium packs are still very rare, but it's getting better. So Kelly, what did you do the couple of months, January, February, leading up to this?
I think for me, if I just go back a couple of months before that, it was when you turned around and said, Luce, that I'm going for an MD next year. And at that point, I was so focused on conference and not being able to get to the Barcelona conference. In my head, I was thinking, right, do you know what? Brighton conference, that's when my business is going to kickstart again. Then I thought, that's another bullshit excuse. So when you turned around and said, right, I'm running for an MD, I thought it was my opportunity to learn. And then to learn from you and then filter that down to my team. So, I mean, obviously last September, I didn't even have any team members. So literally it went from just being me to then now having a team of 12. And that's happened, like, it feels like it's overnight. And the girls are absolutely awesome with their consistency. But the way that I led them was to help you. So then not one of them were focused on their own sales. They weren't focused on their own benefits. And then what organically happened was that we were looking at figures, because I was the same as Luce. I've learned reports massively through this process. We were getting to the stage where it was like, oh my God, you're only 100 points from DD. And then that kept happening over those 2 months leading up to you hitting an MD. It was like, wow, these girls are on fire now. So I think that's what it was. It was the fact that not one of us were focusing on our own business. We were focusing on yours. And knowing that you had the opportunity of then being on stage potentially in Brighton, we was like, we are going to make this happen in February. There is no doubt it's happening. And you did it. You did it. You're absolutely incredible.
But we also just got really creative as well. And what I love is the lift launched in the UK. And as an SC, Kelly was allowed to purchase 5 packs of the lift as a pre-order. Now, it was only Kelly and Zoe in the UK at the time, and Tish, who were SCs, who were able to get hold of this. And we came up with, there was a certain number of points that Kelly needed to hit POB, and a big chunk of that was selling the lift. So we decided to share that with the team. And if you bought the lift up front, obviously that helped the points better. And we divided those boxes of lift into trial packs, and we gave it to the entire UK team. Now, the entire UK team went for it. They were like, yep, we're going to sell this, and they did not do it for the money. Like, I gave them an incentive. I said, if you can sell 4, I'll give you, this much money, and I'll put it in. I think one of the girls, I think Christina, hit 4. No one else did, but everyone was just so excited to be able to offer the trial pack to their, to their friends and family, knowing that it will pay off when they are able to purchase it for themselves. And that was really big as well, seeing them all come together and go, Kelly, I've got another trial order. And they were sending you the money. Like, you became a postie, basically.
I did, and it's a 4-mile walk round trip to the post office here. So my step counter over the last couple of months have been awesome.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing, Kelly and Beck. That was so, so lovely, and it's a really good insight for everybody as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, girls. I know a few people are hopping on now, just to let you guys know that we're just ending another team training, but you guys are more than welcome to listen at the end. But thank you so much. I think just from hearing those two girls, I think people will realize that it is those little promotions throughout your team that is making the big promotions happen. And I'm a big believer. And
you've frozen again.
Frozen. Can you hear me? You hear me all right? Oh, hang on.
Oh, she's going. I will finish saying that. It is the little promotions in the team that make a big difference. And there she is.
Oh, is that better?
Are you back?
I'm back. Is it working?
There you are.
Oh my gosh.
For you.
And the last thing I wanted to say is that NMD really just paves a way to show the rest of the team what is possible. And when I hit NMD, my whole NMD standard for Now Make Diamonds. And that is what NMD is all about, is once you hit NMD, it's now finding your diamonds to help make them NMD as well. So we believe in all of you that that's exactly what you need to be as well. So I'm going to stop the recording right there.